Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Rideshare Hub. My name is Dylan, this is Liz. Say
Hopefully
hi.
You recognize me by now. I'm Liz, it's good to be back on.
Yeah, it's only been her 14th video on the channel, so.
Something like that.
Yeah, she's a regular on here now almost.
A regular Rideshare Hub, like co-star and a regular Lyft Uber rider.
She's an influencer, guys. Alright guys, so today's video we're going over 15 things that Uber and Lyft passengers do that drivers hate. It's basically problems that 15 things that is bound to happen when you're an Uber and Lyft driver, and it's just, you know, there are some things unfortunately that do happen, you know, just like in any job. If you're working in retail, if you're working in a restaurant, you're gonna have some bad customers, and you know, when you're driving for Uber and Lyft, it's just bound to happen that every once in a while, you know, you're gonna have a negative experience. So these are a few things that that passengers do, and then we're also going to go over ways to
avoid that, kind of veer the situation away from that.
Yeah, practical tips, how to give the best experience, and then also as a driver get the best experience out of it.
Win-win.
Win-win. So the first problem is that sometimes you're going to get passengers that want to smoke or vape in your car. Any
sort of like e-cigarette, like pen, whatever. And I think like a way you can go about this is just like, hi, like I'd prefer if you didn't smoke in my car. Super polite, super simple. Yeah, 9 times out of 10, the passengers, if they do want to smoke, they'll ask you like, hey, can I smoke? And then usually, you know, if you don't, you know, some people don't mind if you vape in your car, but if, you know, you don't have to let them. And if you just say no, usually they're, you know, they don't want to do it. But sometimes they'll just light up a cigarette and start smoking in your car. You know, this stuff does happen. So like Liz just said, just tell them, hey, you know, I don't actually let passengers smoke in my car. You know, I drive, you know, a really nice car, whatever. Maybe your car's not even that nice. Maybe you're allergic to the smell. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. I don't want passengers smoking in my car.
Especially cigarettes, so that stays for a long time.
Yeah, exactly. Just the smell of it. So just tell them, hey, I don't let passengers smoke in my car. And then if they refuse, you can actually just say like, all right, well, you know, sorry, I can't provide service for you today. This is, you know, I'm not sacrificing the smell of my car for the next 3 weeks to get my $7 ride from you. So, you know, just pull over and let them out.
Because plus, your other passengers are gonna smell it and they're like, oh, this is horrible, and then give you a lower rating probably. Yeah. Just because you're trying to please the one rider.
Yeah, so that's the first problem. All right, the second. Number two. I don't know if you mind this, but I don't like when passengers touch my stereo or my AC, all that setup. I don't like when they just, oh, let me turn this song up, and then just start like blasting your music. I'm like, bro, like, don't, you know, don't, what's it called?
Kind of a little invasion of privacy.
Yeah, you don't want your passengers blowing out your speakers. So this is sometimes things that happen, is that your passengers will just be like, oh, let me crank the AC up, and you're like, whoa, like, dude, I got it.
A way to avoid that is like right when the ride starts, I'd be like, or shortly into it, like, hey, does the temperature feel okay to you?
Exactly.
Does the sound okay? Because then they're saying, they'd say like, oh, can you turn down the music, or oh, can you turn up the heat? Yeah, I do this for every single ride. It's really good. Ask them their preference. A lot of times they won't have a preference, but you know, it shows customer service, and then that'll also veer them away from touching. You know, it makes you look better, and then they're not getting their grubby hands all over your stuff. Yeah. Number 3 is that sometimes you're gonna get passengers who eat in your car, or they want to eat, and you know, I hope they don't spill, but you know, you don't want people eating spaghetti in your car, and maybe especially mom's spaghetti. What? Do you know the Eminem song where it's like, knees and knees, mom's spaghetti? Okay. Me trying to crack a joke. Anyway, to the point, like obviously. Don't eat your mom's spaghetti, guys. No, this is for passengers. Sorry. But as a passenger, you know, like someone's probably gonna eat a granola bar or something small, whatever. Like that's okay. But I agree with Dylan. Like when it becomes this big meal that's messy, it might like smell up your car. It's gonna get all over. Yeah. So it obviously depends on the driver's preference. But you can say like, hey, would you mind like waiting later to eat that? Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing as with smoking and vaping. This is all your preference. You know, I know a lot of drivers who, they don't care at all. You know, they'll say, yeah, go ahead, you know, go to town, go eat in the back seat. If you spill, then I'll get the cleanup fee, whatever. But, you know, a lot of times, imagine someone's eating like Korean barbecue in your back seat. That stuff's gonna smell too, forever. So, maybe not forever, but you know, for a while. So that's one problem you probably will face at one point or another. And if they're a really good rider, hopefully they'll ask you like, hey, do you mind if I eat in your car?
Yeah.
But you can't assume everyone's going to be your best passenger.
Yeah, a lot of times they'll just open up their
snacking.
Yeah. Okay, number 4, this is kind of like a follow-up with eating, is that sometimes you're gonna get passengers who just leave trash in your car. There's not really a way to avoid this. It's just, you know, sometimes you're gonna look back there and someone left a tissue in your car.
Or a bag of chips, you never know.
Yeah, a bag of chips. Maybe if it's full, you can eat it, but...
That'd be nice. That wouldn't be trash. That'd be a souvenir then.
Are bags of chips souvenirs?
Well, if you're hungry, you see a full bag of snack. That'd be a little, okay, well, that'd be a souvenir if I was, whatever. You know what I mean? It's a treasure, I should say.
A gift. Yeah, so I know some people like Rideshare Driver Dustin. He's another YouTuber out there. He has like a 7 or 8 passenger van, and he keeps a little trash can in his back seat.
My friend Alex, who is not a driver, but she just has in her own car a little trash bin, and it's actually been really nice just like riding with her going wherever. That way it contains the trash, and for you as the driver, it's easier to pick out.
Yeah. Number 5, this is another thing that you're gonna experience at one time or another. Someone's gonna leave something in your car.
It happens.
So whether that's an umbrella, whether that's
a phone, a wallet
or a phone, these are kind of like more important. So the thing about with phones, this is a pro tip that goes along with this. If somebody does leave a phone in your car, turn it off immediately. The reason I say this is because iPhones, they have GPS trackers on them, and you don't want somebody like tracking you down. I've heard of stories where passengers will literally show up at their driver's house and be like, hey, I'm here to get my phone back. Oh, so wow. That's like a pro tip. Turn the phone off so that way they can't track you, and just wait for them to contact you through the app, and then you can meet up at a public location or whatever.
Because especially if you're driving a pool, like you're not going to know which rider's phone that was, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So if they contact you, and oh, it's like Paige from this ride.
Yeah, so just expect that some people are going to leave things in your car. And this is, again, just check the back seat. This goes for the trash as well. Just check the back seat after every ride or after every few rides to make sure no one left anything in your car. And another thing that could potentially happen, this is very rare, but if somebody does leave like something inappropriate or like, I don't know, drugs or whatever, this is really important that you make sure after every ride no one left anything, because I've heard of passengers leaving like, I don't know, weed in the car, and then the next passenger sees that in the car.
That could get you deactivated
and
as
then
the driver.
They'll report the driver because obviously they
see drugs, yeah.
See drugs in your car. So make sure no one leaves anything in your car, and it will save you problems. That probably won't happen, but on the rare chance it does,
you're prepared now.
All right, so the 6th thing that passengers do that drivers hate is that they say, I'll tip you through the app.
And realistically, they probably won't. It's like a ballet guy, and you say, I'll catch you at the door next time. Probably not going to happen.
Probably not. So just, when I first started driving and I heard a passenger say that to me, I was like, oh, sweet, I'm going to get a $400 tip in the app. Maybe not 400 bucks.
Maybe $4 if we're being realistic.
Yeah, but 10 times out of 10, they're not going to tip you. So that's 100% of the time. If you know math.
Yeah.
Or if you don't know math, I just told you.
You learned something new in the Rideshare Hub. We're teaching math now.
Oh yeah, and a good way to actually combat this is that I know, like, again, I've heard a lot from Rideshare Driver Dustin because I watch his videos. Check him out too. But he told a story about how one time a passenger told him, hey, I'll tip you through the app. And he was like, he just started laughing because he's like, if I had a dime or a nickel every time someone says that, I'd be a millionaire or whatever. And it didn't happen. And then the passenger's like, oh, what do you mean? And he's like, yeah, whenever passengers say I'll tip you through the app, they don't. And then the guy was like, you know what? And he pulled out his wallet and handed him like a $20 bill. So like, what you can actually say, like, try to
make light of the situation.
Say it jokingly, like, haha, like, yeah, every passenger says that, never works. And then it's almost like challenging them to do it. But like I said, do it jokingly. Don't be like, no, you won't.
Yeah, make sure it's very playful, very fun, not like, you're not gonna tip me.
Yeah, and you can also do this, like, this is just a tip on tips in general. You can like kind of request a tip in a light way. So you can be like, if you like the ride, like, feel free to tip me $100.
Or leave a tip jar in your car, you know?
Yeah, like, you never like demand a tip, but like you can try to bring it up in a light way. The next problem that you're gonna face, this is something that is, you have no control over it. Some passengers, for whatever reason, maybe they don't like you, maybe they don't like the shirt you're wearing, they're gonna find something wrong with you. They're gonna leave you like 4 stars instead of 5. Maybe they'll even leave you a 3-star. You know, you don't, everyone in life doesn't like you, know. I found that out. Not everyone likes me, right? For whatever reason.
Or not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah, and so, you know, and I have people out there that I'm not necessarily fond of, but regardless.
It's me. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's why I bring you back like 4 times a week. Regardless, you're just gonna get people who just rate you poorly. It just happened. Don't freak out when someone leaves you a 1-star or a 4-star. You know,
maybe they accidentally hit it. You never know.
Yeah, and you know, if you don't need a perfect 5-star rating, if you have anything 4.8 or above, you should be fine.
You're a good driver.
Number 8 is that sometimes you're gonna have passengers who are just rude to you.
Which is sad, because we should all be nice to each other. Okay,
so Liz and I were actually talking before we started this video, and we said that these things actually happen, not just in Uber and Lyft, but also if you work at a restaurant, if you work in retail.
Any day-to-day life situation.
You're gonna have people who are just rude to you. You know, if you're a server at a restaurant, you might just have somebody who just, no matter what, they don't like the food, they're complaining at everything.
Some people are just never fully satisfied.
That is very true. So just expect that not every passenger is gonna, you know, have a great experience. Not every passenger is gonna think you're the best driver. They might be a little rude to you. So just, you know, don't
keep your distance.
Yeah, keep your cool. Don't push them. Don't escalate the situation at all. Just be calm and chill, and you should be fine.
That should be an everyday life thing. Just calm and chill.
Calm and chill, bro. Okay, number 9. This is something that you might encounter every once in a while, is that your passengers might expect you to like help them move. They might be like, oh yeah, can you help me carry this desk to like across the street or whatever.
Carry a desk?
People are like, they'll you know, they go on free and for sale on Facebook or Craigslist, and they'll take an Uber there and be like, oh yeah, do you mind if I, you know, just put this couch in your car? Maybe not a couch, but like,
or something smaller, like a chair, you know.
A lot of if you drive XL, a lot of people will order an XL and then they'll try to carry like a huge TV in your car, and you know, it's up to you. If you want to try to make it fit, try to make it work, you can, but you know, a lot of times you're gonna be like, bro, order a U-Haul. This is not, you know, this is not Uber U-Haul. So it's just something you might face every once in a while.
Playing on with that though, like, I think if you see someone with like maybe luggage or grocery bags, it doesn't hurt just to offer. Be like, oh, do you need help getting in? Because that would definitely increase your chances for getting a better tip, 5 stars, you know. But like Dylan's saying, if someone's asking you to move a desk or something crazy ridiculous, like, you as the driver have the right to decline.
Definitely. And this is probably pretty applicable like during Christmas time and stuff, or like, you know, what's it, Black Friday, when people are trying to get these, you know, spicy deals.
Yeah, it's Black Friday.
What?
It's Black Friday. I was just confirming what you said.
Yeah, so like, I know that some people, during that time, a lot of times like people will try to order an Uber and like bring back, just because people are shopping in general. But yeah, be on the lookout for that. Don't damage your cars, you know. Don't be like, yeah, sure, let's try to make it work, you know, shoving a bike in your car and just like,
which is tough in just an everyday car, especially like an Uber.
Yeah. Number 10, this might happen. I did make a video on this recently, so go ahead and check that out. But this one is, somebody is probably gonna spill something in your car. They might throw up. If you're driving past midnight on the weekends, that is probably more likely.
I agree.
But every once in a while, you're gonna have somebody who spills water in your car, spills their soda. Yeah, you can check out my video on that. I go into way more detail, but basically, just take photos of it. You can get a cleanup fee through Uber and Lyft. They're pretty good about it to help you get that cleaned. And but yeah.
I've got a story on this actually. My friends and I were in the city for St. Patrick's, and my friend took an Uber pool back. Okay, that's the way to say it. And the person she was with threw up in the car. And thankfully my friend like took some footage of that to prove it wasn't her, because Uber actually, the driver charged my friend. And my friend's like, no, it wasn't me. And they're like, yeah, the driver identified you. And she sent in her footage saying, no, it was the other person.
How did they charge the girl? If it wasn't her account.
What do you mean?
Oh, it was a
pool. So it was like my friend
else.
and like a random.
Gotcha.
And so then my friend sent in the video, and then like Uber completely comped her ride. But like that moral of the story is, if you take footage, you take pictures of who did it, like it's a lot safer, and also make sure you correctly identify the rider.
Definitely.
Because you don't want to like screw over someone that didn't happen to.
Yeah, it's your best bet. Take photos of it before you clean it up. Just, it can be kind of gross, but take some close-up ones and then take some long distance ones so you can get the full view of like the damage that actually did happen.
And especially if it's throw up, like, yeah, I know it's obviously more expensive to get your car professionally cleaned, but it's worth it, because sometimes I can tell when I'm gonna ride, I'm like, oh my gosh, this car smells like vomit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I actually thought the ride we went on the other day kind of smelled like vomit in the back.
Which one?
The last guy.
Because I wasn't in the back.
The guy who was from Brazil.
Oh.
I smelled it in the back, like kind of by the format when I walked. I was like, whoo, so like I could tell like someone probably threw up.
Yeah, I was in the front, so I didn't smell anything.
Which makes it uncomfortable for your passengers. So yeah, it might be cheaper, but like let's say I was giving the rating, like might not have been as high.
Definitely, yeah. If someone throws up in your car, get your car detailed. Uber and Lyft, they'll pay for it. So you take a photo of your receipt. Go to, treat your car nicely, or give a treat to your car and get it detailed. So that way, these detail places deal with throw up all the time. So it's much better than you trying to do it. Like I always say, I know how to maintain my vehicle and do like, certain things, but I'd much rather pay somebody who's a professional to do it, so that I know that they're doing a really good job on it, much better than I could. So the same thing with getting your car detailed.
And let me tell you, cleaning up throw up is hard. I was taking my dog back from the vet, threw up all over my car. Oh. Like in between the seats and everything, and like so much so I couldn't get it all, so that's why you gotta just get to the professionals. Dylan's right, trust him.
I got my car detailed before. Great experience.
In case you're wondering, my dog's totally fine now. He just had a little stomach issue.
Oh, what kind of dog do you have?
Portuguese water dog. Same type the Obamas had, like the really big fur, like curly hair furry ones.
Wow.
They're cute. Check them out.
I'll put a picture up right in front of Liz's face right here.
You should. Just right here.
Okay, moving on. Number 11. This is really good to look out for too, but also a problem you have to deal with is that sometimes you're gonna have passengers who try to bring in a child or try to bring in a baby, and they don't have a car seat and they don't have a booster seat. So as you guys probably know, it's illegal to transport a baby without a car seat or without a booster, If the person, I think it has to be, check your state laws, but I think the child has to be like 70 pounds or something.
Yeah, for each state it varies, but like obviously you can kind of gauge like should that child be in a car seat or not.
Yeah, if if they're sitting up and their feet don't touch the ground.
Or they're next by the seatbelt especially, like.
Yeah, you don't want to risk that at all. First of all, it's against Uber and Lyft's terms of service, so you can get deactivated. Second of all, it's illegal, so you can get a ticket and maybe lose your license. And then thirdly, it's not safe.
And then you wouldn't want the responsibility of, let's say, someone else hit your car and the child or infant died. Yeah. Like that would be on your conscience.
Definitely. So just if a passenger if a passenger tries to bring in their kid, the mom's like, oh no, I'll just carry the baby. Just be like,
I would just decline it. Be like,
no, not at all. 0% chance. And this is also why you never accept a ride until your passengers all get into your car and you're all ready to go. So if you click accept and then that happens, then you run into problems. So just be on the lookout for that. Number 12 is you're gonna get, this has been happening a lot recently, is that your drivers are getting requests from underage, unaccompanied minors.
That's risky.
Yeah, so like I don't know why, but I guess because a lot of drivers do accept that, is that
it's like the norm to be okay.
It's like people don't even know because they just figure it's fine, which I don't blame them, honestly.
I mean, I didn't know up until like 2 weeks ago that was a rule.
Yeah, so what happens a lot is that parents, they'll just order an Uber for their kid. Like back in the day, it's like the parents are like never get in a stranger's car. Now it's like, oh, let me order an Uber, and you get into a stranger's car. And But yeah, a lot of parents, they'll order an Uber to get their kid from school, or they'll I don't know, take them to soccer practice. It's like now they're just outsourcing their parenting with Ubers and Lyfts. And so a really good way to do this is if you're going to a school, you know, keep in mind, okay, this person might be underage, and if they are underage, be like, sorry, can't. You know, you need to call your mom and have them cancel for you. That way you can get a cancellation fee, $5 right there, and then also obviously not run the risk. And if the person is like borderline, because sometimes in high school, like seniors are 18, ask them, how old are you? And then you can also ask them for ID as well.
Well, that's another way of showing that the correct passenger is getting into your car, especially if you're wondering if they're close to that like age line or not. Correct me if I'm wrong though, what is it, 21 for someone who's under, like, as a accompany the minor?
Like, I think one person just needs to be 18.
Okay, I was just curious.
Pretty sure. I might need to look into that more. Okay, number 13. This is the 13th problem that you might run into, is that, I mean, this is not really anything you can avoid, but sometimes you're gonna get really short rides and the passengers just don't tip you. You know, it's like, and you're only gonna make like $2 or $3 on the ride. It's just bound to happen. And it's like a statistics game. You know, sometimes you're gonna get really good rides, maybe long, the person leaves you a $10, $20 tip. And on the other hand, you're gonna get really short rides.
Like from here to the coffee shop. Like very short.
Like rides that we took.
Yes.
That we take all the time. Yeah, and like I said, this is the same thing. This applies to like any industry pretty much. I mean, you can do things to make your tips in general go up, but like if you're at a restaurant, you know, if you work in a 5-hour shift, you're gonna get 1 or 2 people who just don't leave a tip at all. Like that's just, you know, this is just statistics game. Don't let
that one person or one ride ruin your whole experience though.
Yeah.
Don't give them the satisfaction.
Yeah, and honestly, like this is like in sales, I know, because I have worked in sales a little bit, and then I've also worked like with salespeople on a team. And you know, when you get rejected, when you're calling people, doing phone calls, and people reject you, it's almost like, instead of getting sad, like, oh, you know, the person didn't pay me or like bye, you almost feel happy because now the next call is more likely to be better. So it's almost like, all right, done. Like, you know, got that person out of the way, let's move on. So just, you know, think of it like that. Okay, number 14, this one's pretty funny, I guess, but sometimes you're gonna get passengers who sit up in the front seat.
That's me, I like to sit up in the front.
No, that's fine. I think that's fine. Some drivers don't like that, but if they sit up in the front seat and then don't talk at all.
Yeah, I feel like if you're going in the front, you're gonna go for some conversation. If not, you're just gonna go straight to the back, or it should be like that at least.
Yeah, if you're sitting in the back and you're just sitting on your phone, you're not talking, sure, fine. But if you're sitting up in the front seat, you're just not talking at all.
That's kind of strange.
It's very awkward. I've had that before. So just, I mean, there's nothing you can do about that, but that's just
prepared.
Yeah, that's something you can do. Okay, the last one.
Woohoo. Number 15.
The last one, number 15, guys. Drum roll, please.
That was the drum roll.
All right, number 15. In all seriousness, this is actually kind of a big issue that has been going on a lot, and I don't know the best way that Uber and Lyft is going to deal with this, but some passengers leave false reports, and so either they're trying to get a free ride, maybe they don't like you for whatever reason.
Who knows, honestly.
Some people are just negative Nancys, or sour Samanthas, or
some sort of alliteration with someone's name and a bad feeling.
Yeah, basically you're gonna get passengers, this maybe not, I mean hopefully not. So I know one guy, his name's Rideshare Driver Dustin. He's my friend, but he's another YouTuber who makes Uber and Lyft videos. But he got deactivated from Lyft, and the passenger, I don't know the whole story on that, but basically I think the passenger said he was driving under the influence or something, and he clearly wasn't, and he ended up getting deactivated. So they're you know, I don't know, this is not like an everyday thing, but be on the
You gotta protect yourself regardless.
Yeah, I don't want to say like be on the lookout because it probably won't happen, but it could very well happen. So a really good thing to avoid this is that if you ever have a passenger who like you didn't hit it off, there was some problem, maybe the person wanted to smoke in your car, you know, maybe there was a little bit of a, you know, arguing or something, what you want to do is you want to contact Uber or Lyft right away and explain to them the situation. Tell them, hey, you know, you want to basically beat Uber and Lyft to the punch. You don't want the passenger reporting you, and then, you know, so if you can report that passenger first, that does help a lot, like in your case or whatever. And then also like having a dash cam can help.
Super helpful.
Dash cams can be really good for protection. In Rideshare driver Dustin's case, Lyft didn't even look at the dash cam footage. They just deactivated him. So that's actually one of the problems that I do see, is that there's not a whole lot of
trust for the drivers.
Trust, protection, safety. There's just a little bit of a gap that I see that can be filled with you know, like safety things like that. But yeah, hopefully you won't have to deal with that, but it does happen. So anyways, guys, those are the 15 things that
passengers might do
that are bad.
Just be on the lookout, be safe, you know, you're not every ride's gonna be the best ride, but kind of like what Dylan was saying, just be positive and just keep moving forward. Yeah, keep moving forward. And on the last thing, just to follow up on tip number 15, sorry to go back, but don't keep all your eggs in one basket. You know, if you're driving full time for Uber, you know that you are running the risk that at any moment, you know, could be deactivated.
You could get deactivated. So maybe that means driving for Uber and Lyft. You know, if you're driving for Uber full time, that you're depending on that for your entire income, you just be aware that you are running the risk that at any time you could technically just, you know, a passenger could report you and you get deactivated. So
which is a bummer.
Yeah, so maybe that means driving for both Uber and Lyft, so that if, you know, one of the things, if you get deactivated from one, you can do the other. Or maybe that means having, you know, a part-time job or a full-time job and then doing Uber and Lyft on the side, or running your own business on the side. So that basically what I'm trying to say is that don't keep all your eggs in one basket.
Expand your options.
Yeah, diversify your income, and yeah, that's all I have to say on that one. So anyways, guys, that is the end of the video for today. I hope you liked it. If you learned something new, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. If you didn't learn anything new, well, I guess you're just an expert, and
I bet you learned one thing new.
Yeah, maybe one thing.
I learn new things from these videos all the time.
Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to comment below, has any of these things ever happened to you as a driver? I would actually really like to know. And yeah, make sure to subscribe so you get notified anytime we post a new video. Post videos all the time on like tips and tricks, any updates on the Uber and Lyft app, anything that's going on in rideshare in general. So just subscribe so you get notified for future videos.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Liz.
Thank you for having me.
For joining. And
be safe.
Be safe out there, guys. All right, talk to y'all soon.